Hey, I'm Kay, just a girl making ridiculously crazy builds in The Sims. Come check them out. So we are back at Richmond Palace, which is finally completed. However, there are some glitchy stuff that happens, like the living room has a chess set in it, but it keeps disappearing. So I think during the video it's not going to be there, but I did put it back. Things like the ceiling finishes that I've put on will disappear. So I can't guarantee that if you download this, all of the things that I've done and put into it, they might not all be there. I can't guarantee they'll be there. So there's that. That's fun. So I kind of thought that was going to happen because when you do giant builds like this, always something glitches out and disappears. So I find that the more detailed things, the more items and build mode stuff that you put into your build, the more likely it is going to be like, no, I'm going to slowly delete things and you're going to have to figure out what I deleted. So if you download this and you're going through and you're like, oh, this is pretty sparse, this place sucks. Maybe it didn't suck. Maybe it was awesome and The Sims was like, nope, I'm going to delete stuff. So think about that. But in reality, I actually did make this a bit sparse. I left some wall areas free for your own paintings, and see, like this room, there's nothing really on the walls. Also because it's all made with limestone bricks, because it's sort of from a certain era and they didn't pin a bunch of stuff all over the walls. It's beautiful limestone. Anyway, I've left it like that so that you can put your own touch to it. Also because it glitches out more, really. But in reality, I want you to download it and I want you to put your own touch on it. I want you to have your sim come in here and become a painter because for some reason in this new Royalty and Legacy pack, your sim has to become a painter. So if you don't know that yet, they're going to make you do that. So right in front of that picture, family photo, is where I put my easel. And I had my sim become a painter so that they could play along and get all that pretend free stuff that they're giving away if you do the challenges. Also, this table I took out in between these lounge chairs here because the lounge chairs were too close to the bookcases and my sim couldn't read his book about how to become a better swordsman. So that's not cool. He needed to know that. So unfortunately, I had to take that table out. It didn't fit well. Sometimes I don't realize that things like are a little bit out of place. I thought that worked, but it didn't. So anyway, I fixed it. That's what matters. This room that we were just in here was like a sitting room for the royals that come over before they talk to His Royal Highness, Mr. Richmond. Who actually I've been working hard to get him to promote up to the highest level. I think I have him on like the level 3 or level 2 maybe. You have to do a lot of stuff to level them up. You can't just be a king. That's rude. Another rude thing I want to talk about is the lack of build mode items in this expansion pack. I was shocked, honestly. Like, they don't give any toilet option. There's no, like, royalty toilet in this pack. You have to use ones that you already have. I actually found that really weird because you'd think that they would, I don't know, have every item available. They seem to have used a lot from past packs that they've just changed the color of. Really? Like, that sucks. I was expecting a lot more, really, so... Anyway, here's the stables where we keep the horses that we don't have because I didn't actually buy any horses yet because I'm too busy trying to build a kingdom. But what I did do is I built an entire wing in the stables here, up the stairs we're going to go, for all the extra staff that we can't have in the game. So I was again bummed that they didn't give us a guard. Like, just give me a random sim that all their duty is to stand at the front of my house and be a guard. And let me put at least like 10 of them around. Because that would be cool. Like, it's a royalty pack. Why do I not have an option for like I don't know, guards in armor in front of my house. Anyway, this area here, I at least let the butler live in. So there was a room at the back, which I didn't show. That's where the butler lives. We'll see that. I'm going to do a full overview and show where all the rooms are, just because there's so much going on. Right now, I'm just doing the full walkthrough of each level, and we're taking a look at literally everything, except for some bathrooms because they're too small to get into. Speaking of thrones, though, we're in the throne room right now. And I made a staircase that goes behind the throne that's only for the royal family to use because I've locked the doors for family only. So that's fun. Anyway, that secret staircase goes to the second level here, and it goes all the way up to the king's chambers, which my guy's not a king right now. He's a baron, I think. I'm at the baron and baroness level. I'd have to double check that. But anyway, here's a toy room. Fun. I did change that around, actually. Another thing I'll talk about later is the annoying new clocks that they put in this game that are supposed to be secret passages that aren't really secret passages. We're going to talk about that. Anyway, this whole section that we're going through here is supposed to be like a gallery room. I didn't put any pictures up, so that's going to be on you. If you download it, you get to put all your pictures there. Or not, it's your download once you download it, so do whatever you want. There's a piece of the railing sticking through the wall because why would they build a railing that actually works? Why would they do that? Anyway, this is where I put the kitchen, so in through here. I didn't realize at the time that the faucets went through the actual window frames, but I'm keeping them there because that's where I wanted them, so that's fine. And also what I learned after the fact is because I put 2 fridges in that room, and I also put a full-size fridge in the butler's kitchen. So apparently, I didn't know this. You can't have 3 fridges. I guess I've never built anything with 3 full-size fridges before. I've done bar fridges, like a ton of bar fridges, and a regular fridge, like 2 regular fridges. And I've never had that issue. So you cannot cook anything if you have 3 fridges and 3 stoves, apparently. So that was a really weird thing to find out. Anyway, these are guest rooms that we're looking at right now. I need to talk about the rooms, but I'm talking about all the things that I was like, what? Why is that like that? We just came through a bunch of locked doors because this area is where the king's heirs sleep. So they're locked up tight, so no one can get to them. That room there was for their nanny or whatever, but we don't have nannies, so it's just for pretend. This is the room that's going to be for heir and spare. If you watched my last video, you'll know who they are. And then here is the clock. Oh man, this clock is annoying. I thought that you could put it on the wall and they could go through here and they could go through to the tunnel. I thought it acted like a door. But it does not act like a door, so they can't go and sneak into the king's room when the palace is under attack, which doesn't actually happen unless you get that one robber who comes over. And he tried to come and rob my palace, but he didn't get past the front door because my fake guards, which is the alarm system I put in, caught him, and he got scared and ran away. So that was fun. Anyway, back to the clock. It doesn't work like a clock. It actually works like a traveling system where you have to have more than one of them, and you have to actually go through some sort of system to unlock them, which I haven't figured out how to do yet. So let's just move on and look at the bathroom. This room is just basically a bathtub for the queen and whoever to relax. And then we're coming all the way through, and we're going to go across to the other side here because that is where the rooms for the princesses are. After we take a look at the sights, how lovely. So all of the royal family members' rooms are on the top floor here, the 3rd floor. They are all accessible by the one big staircase that we just passed through, as well as some other hidden ones. So in here is the smallest princess's room. So I put the squatty potties everywhere that you probably saw a bunch of times, because that's more like what they would have had, kind of. I was trying to make it as authentic as possible until I started playing in the games like you need a TV to watch the romantic channel so you can get all of these like extra points and play along with the game. And I'm like, man, so I had to put a giant TV. I just picked the biggest TV possible and I put it on the king's wall, and I was like, fine, if I'm gonna have a TV, it's gonna be the biggest one they have. And that's what I did. The download, however, I should clarify, does not have the TV. It doesn't have that art easel I was talking about earlier. It is basically just the start of what I did with the build, not anything to do with playing the game and what it was asking you to have in the house. So there are no TVs, there are no computers right now. There are squatty potties everywhere with what you probably saw waterfalls beside them, acting as where you're supposed to wash your hand, but they don't really wash their hands, so who cares? And there's actually only one real toilet, which I'll show you soon. But for now, we're going to go through the floor plan of the home. So in the stable up here, you come up the stairs to a landing. There's a washroom up there, like a powder room, living space, kitchen, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bedrooms back here. And then the one that I made for the butler up here with their own little balcony up on this side. And as well, there's a balcony on the other side too, just to make the outside kind of look the same as the palace. As we come back down the stairs, we are met with the hay pile. The opposite side has the saddles for the 4 invisible horses that I have, because I haven't purchased any yet. They each have their own water and food tray, container, whatever that thing's called. And yeah, that's what my thought was. So eventually maybe I'll get horses, but maybe when I become a king, since the game is so hard to play with the amount of family members and the size of the house I have. Yeah, so if you want a big house, don't have a lot of family members, because it's a pain in the butt to get everyone to do what you want without using cheat codes to make everyone happy. We're going to move on to the 3rd level of this house. Actually, sorry, the 4th level. The 4th level is just servants' quarters, again, for the invisible servants that we have. There's 2 beds up here and a squatty potty, and then you come down the stairs. It's technically like the ladies' maids rooms for the princesses. So we have the 1 princess room here with the bed, tub, and fireplace, and then like the makeup and dressing area, and the squatty potty behind the curtain, because it just made it look better. Also, under the staircase that's there is the cat litter box hidden in a little room there. The other princess room is to the bottom there, and then up here where the mouse is, it's going through a little sitting area back out to that lounge area, and then the main stairwell there. So we're just gonna scoot over a little bit, or actually no, sorry, we're gonna look. What are we doing? We're crashing out is what's happening. So my computer, the video that I took started glitching, so I'm going to try and get around that by just talking about it, and unfortunately not showing you with the mouse where things are, so we'll just sort of follow along. So just starting where the mouse is at that back staircase, if we go to the left, that's where another outside lounge is. To the left of that was that tub room for the king and queen, basically. And then coming into their dressing room, the stairwell is there. Their main room is there with their sitting area, and they have access to a balcony out in front. Now, if we come through the pretend walkway here into the spare and heirs room down here, that's where you can also get down to another level. But if we shoot across into the middle, that's where the nursery is. There was 2 stairwells down to the 3rd floor there, as well as servants areas in behind, and then across to the other side to the other princess's room. Now down a level, we are coming out from that area. You can go down to the left bottom of the screen, and that was where the stairwell is to get up to the prince's room and also for staff members to have a room there. Going to your left, there's a big walkway in front of the 2 guest rooms that you can use, as well as right in the middle is the staircase that goes up to the nursery and other staff room. Right in front of those stairs, though, you can see another little hidden room that you can only access from the 2 ladders that are beside it, that are from the very front entrance area. You can see there's 2 little doorways by the front entrance. That's how you access those. And then all the way to the far right side is the dining room. And then above that is the kitchen. And then above the kitchen is another little like morning dining room area. Now you can see on either side of the kitchen, there are actual stairwells there that go down. Now you can see they go down. They're on the right-hand side here, where there is another main entrance to the build. That's more the family entrance where they're going to come in all the time off of their like horse and carriage that they don't have in the game. Anyway, let's go above that. That is another sitting area room. If we go to the left at the top, that is a full huge ballroom with a bar on the right side and a buffet table on the left side and 2 huge dance floors in there. All the way to the left of that is the piano room. And you come through down into the throne room with, in the back of the throne room, there are 2 washrooms back there, as well as other entrances into that side for the commoners to come in if they so please. There's also sitting areas in the throne room. You can get out into the courtyard from the throne room. You can basically get out into the courtyard from like all areas, so that's fine. Anyway, coming down from the throne room all the way to the front left is the office. Across over to the right is the library. And then right in the middle is the main entrance where that mouse is kind of hovering right now. And then off to the right of that is the sitting room for when like the royals come to visit before they can find where the king is. They can sit and wait for him in there. And then to the right of that is the family's living room. Now back to the courtyard, there are basically 4 sunken corners to it, if that makes sense. The 4 corners are actually on the level below the grade, below the ground. To access it, there are stairwells just in behind, I guess in front, if you're looking at it that way, in front here of the ballroom, as well as one off to the side here that comes out. You can see these 4 that I was talking about here that are technically showing on the next level because they have trees. Anyway, come in through an entrance through here, and there's a walkway that goes all the way around the entire underground system here. So again, we have the stairwell here that comes from behind the main entrance for the family, and then this 2 stairwells that come from the ballroom area. That in the middle here is actually a fish tank that I've built in, and there are 2 washrooms on either side of that. Down in the middle here is sort of like a sitting room area, the main sort of fancy room that lets you come into the bathhouse is what we're calling it. So we have a hot spring on one side here, then all the way across the other side we have a hot spring there as well. I've put in some waterfall features and some details there. So straight across on the bottom here is a little room for showers. So there's showers on either side. For your dirty Sims, because apparently the hot springs aren't always clean. My Sim is complaining that it's dirty, but there's no option to clean it, so I don't get that. Now we're just going to watch some fun little videos and get a more in-depth look at things. I will show you that bathhouse in a minute. We're just going to see the family enter their new home and be like, wow, and find out what's wrong with it. Because obviously sometimes when you build things that don't quite work. So I was going around and fixing that stuff. You can see here the doorway that's hidden beside that main door that goes to the little ladder that goes up to the fake guard room. That's the only way to enter that guard room is through this doorway or one that's on the opposite side. So you can see the ladders there. My Sim couldn't use them originally because it was just 1 tile length, this room, so I had to double about the length of this room here, so he can go up the ladder and get off the one side of it because they can't get off the front of it, which is super annoying. Anyway, this is how you access this one room here. It has a little bathroom in the technically staircase there. Anyway, let's go to the throne room. I needed to check if my sim could get up these stairs and sit on the throne and up the other stairs without a problem, since sometimes when I build things that are basically simple, the game's like, no, I don't want to. Anyway, there's a ton of options to do with this throne, but of course, first you have to join the career of it to become the king, and you have to do a bunch of stuff before you can actually do all the fun stuff. So that's life, isn't it? That's life. Anyway, we're asking him to come and basically get up and sit on the throne to make sure everything works before I download it. Not download, I guess, before I upload it to the gallery, because I want to make sure that I'm not giving you something that doesn't work. Here he goes up the stairs. So he ignored my request to sit on the throne. He's actually going to do it after he goes up the stairs, which is weird, but that's fine as long as it's showing he's going up these stairs. Sorry about the view there, to the next level, and he has to come through that doorway and go through another secret doorway here to get up to the other back hidden stairs that are only for the king's quarters up here, the king and queen's quarters. So you can see up here, he comes right up into his dressing room, which is weird, I know, but that's how it works. And he can sit down. Well, he can walk through his furniture, so that's cool. Now, this annoying clock that's in the king's heir's room, I thought it was a passageway, meaning you could use it as a door, but no, you can sabotage the cuckoo clock, you can inspect it. So I had him go in and check it out first, and once he did that, it gave more options for you to do with it. It's like a traveling thing, but you have to have a key to unlock it. It seems like there's some sort of unlock feature, and it says on there you can't use it to travel unless it's unlocked. I don't know how to unlock it, so I'm gonna have to Google that, because I have no idea, just playing it basically here, wanting them to just be able to walk through it. That's not what it's for. So that kind of sucks. I wish there was more hidden door features. So sort of like the bookcases, but I was hoping that this was kind of like that same idea. It's not. So that was a bummer. But fun fact, I did travel to the rival's palace, and I asked to come into their house, and I found that they have one of these clocks, and I totally went and I sabotaged the cuckoo clock. I don't know what it did, honestly. I clicked on it again, and it was like, clock is already sabotaged. So I might have started some sort of rivalry with them, maybe. I don't know. Nothing's happened so far, so not really sure what that does as of yet. I was kind of hoping that when I clicked on it and he went to inspect it, that he ended up on the other side of it, is what I was really hoping, and he would be in the hallway that I specifically made for a secret passage. So there's not. Anyway, he inspected it, and now he can woohoo inside it, which was unexpected. So it's like they've made an elevator in the form of a clock. Is that what this is supposed to be? And they can travel to different areas of their house as long as they have another one of these? I don't know. So that's when I started to assume. So I placed one in the toy room as well for the kids, because I was like, well, maybe the kid can just take the clock to his toy room, and that would be fun. So I thought, let's try that. But first we're going to see if these squatty potties work with the curtains in front, which I know that they do, but just to make sure, and so everyone knows that you can use the squatty potty with this style curtain in front of it. That's not a problem. Here he goes. Gross. Blur it out. I also love how the cat is a typical cat and will come and stand there when you are in the washroom, and the cat will be like, what are you doing? What's going on? Same as a dog, basically. But fish will stay in the tank that you put them in, like those ones there. And now we are in the bathhouse. So the wallpaper is all right. It doesn't really work on this curved wall because the wall glitched out as I was building it and the curve isn't perfectly formed in the room anymore. So maybe that's why. Anyway, here we are in the kids' toy room that I rearranged so I could put this clock in here. And we are going to attempt to have the child use the clock and see what happens when a child tries. So we renamed it TikToker, just because I could name the clock and that's all that came to my mind. So you can see here she can travel, but it has to be unlocked. And I was like, what? Like, the king can't even unlock it. What is happening here? So I thought, okay, maybe there's got to be some sort of something else. Maybe the king has an option to unlock it. But again, travel to is blurred out. It needs to be unlocked. And I'm like, can I upgrade it to unlock it? Like, how do you unlock this thing? That, I don't know. I don't like not knowing that. So if someone knows that, please put it in the comments because I want to know how to unlock this clock. But for now, let's get into the fact that they didn't give us any guards. Like, nothing to do with royalty and legacy in here. I can't even have a nanny live in my house. Like, you have to have the butler who can take care of the kids. You can assign them to take care of the kids. But I can't have, like, multiple household people. Anyway, this is what happens when you can't hire a nanny full time. Your toddler just runs around your giant palace and you can't find them. Well, she found him. All's good. And now for the special moment when Sire gets promoted. Well, he promotes himself, basically, for the first time. You'll see it real quick. Boop. He's just been promoted. He did it himself. Look at him. He's crying. I can't believe I promoted myself to the next level in the kingdom. If you're literally still around at this point in the video, thank you so much for sticking around and watching. If you are not yet a subscriber, you should be. So think about that.